Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Man, I miss the good old days, when things weren't as partisan as they are today. We're in the era of Trump, where everything Trump says, automatically the left will say the opposite. Everything is so deeply partisan that Trump will say something like, "Ooh, I love this beautiful oxygen. This great, big, beautiful oxygen. Let me take a big, deep breath. The biggest of deep breaths ever taken. Oh, look at my big, beautiful lungs." Trump could say something like that, and leftoids in response, well, they'd stop breathing. They'd hold their breath in and say, "I'm never taking a breath ever again." That's how partisan things are these days. But I miss the days of old, where not only was there more crossover, but there was more intellectual honesty, We just don't have that anymore in the political discussion. Well, you wonder why. Well, it's mostly because if you end up telling the truth and that truth offends a particular group of people, and especially leftists, well, let's just say all hell breaks loose. And so here we find ourselves where the president of the United States essentially is a brain-dead vegetable, but you'll see all the leftist talking heads and all the Democrat politicians simply fighting their partisan fight, completely ignoring the basic reality of the situation in their attempt to convince us that this guy...
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put Los Angeles and what am I doing here? We haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is, let me say another way. Here's what drives the driver in the states that are affected. Here's what you can do, the drivers.
Is mentally sharp. Yeah, right. I got a couple viral clips to show you guys. Let's delve into the partisan leftist mind. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so let's first start off with Trump derangement syndrome sufferer Bill Maher. I'm not exactly sure who his guest was on the show, but this moment, it's telling, it's hilarious, and it's also sad.
That's why I say Biden, I wish he would get out of the way for somebody younger, but as far as can he actually do the job? Yes, he can. He's not senile. And most of the decisions are made
he's not senile?
He's not senile.
Bill! Did you see the thing where you're like, the Civil War and you needed more airports? And he's like, whoa! You think he's not senile?
He's not senile.
But Bill.
That's different.
What is that then? It wasn't happening like that when he was Obama's VP.
It doesn't, no, of course, he's a lot older and he shows it. It doesn't affect what matters.
He literally just called Trump the sitting president the other day.
And Trump just he did a whole rant.
Did I just tell you Trump was mentally sound?
No, but he did the same thing. People get up in the upper years, and then, especially when you're like talking in public a lot, it's going to happen. It doesn't affect...
Bill.
Okay. Don't give me Bill in this area. I'm the one who doesn't know shit. Maybe you don't. I'm not saying you don't know shit.
No, I'm not claiming to know anything about politics, but watch the friggin' videos of the guy.
I've seen the videos.
He can't get off the stage.
That's not true either. I've seen the videos. We've seen the same thing.
The bicycle store. He doesn't know where he's at. You think the guy knows? Okay.
Okay. Area explored. We have a difference of opinion.
Fair. You can school me on it.
Nobody knows. I'm just telling you, when he's sitting alone, when he's sitting with advisors in the Oval Office, where the job is actually done, not in this arena, which has you so interested in, this shiny object. It's the shiny object that is distracting you because you're not in the Oval Office.
He looks demented. And I don't mean demented crazy.
Exactly,
I mean like dementia.
Looks.
In your opinion.
Okay.
I mean, to me, those are signs of dementia.
Yeah, they both have some. Probably everybody does at that age.
I think there's a couple factors here. One of them, of course, is that Bill Maher suffers from extreme Trump derangement syndrome. And so it's simply partisan rage that's kind of, let's just say, fogged his ability to think or see or hear. And the second thing is, well, he's probably too scared to tell the truth because the leftist mob will come after him. He even attempted to appeal to authority. How utterly ridiculous does he look Well, listen, you're not going to tell me about politics. I'm the politics guy. Listen, Bill, first off, quit being a douche. Secondly, you're not the politics guy that you think you are. Bill Maher reads the New York Times and then regurgitates the talking point and then pretends to sound smart. He's been at the forefront of nothing significant. He's a puppet, a talking head. He hasn't tackled any of the hard-hitting journalism that's dropped over the last couple of years because he lives in a left-wing bubble. So please spare me with the appeal to authority. I'm the politics guy. You are getting schooled on a basic honesty litmus test by probably a Hollywood celebrity with no actual political understanding. Maybe being the politics guy in Hollywood, Bill Maher, is the problem. You're blinded by bias. The interaction was just perfect. Oh, well, what about the other guy? What about Donald Trump? Joe Biden is sharp. Really? Did you see the way that his guest looked at him? It's cognitive dissonance, folks. And now we're dealing with this false equivalency of, well, Donald Trump's brain doesn't work either. Obviously complete nonsense. They point to this one clip where Donald Trump mixed up Nancy Pelosi with Nikki Haley.
Never reports the crowds, you know. By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley, you know, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything? Deleted and destroyed all of it, because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people.
He made one mistake, and now apparently his cognitive decline is on par with this guy.
When we pushed all these programs, I said I'm going to be a president for everybody, whether they live in a red state or a green state.
You may remember I got in trouble when we were running against the senator who was a Mormon, the governor, okay?
You know, we have to come together. That's why I'm running. I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate.
Yeah, okay, little Billy. Did Trump give you a bobo? Are you okay? Guys, I do not think Bill Maher's okay. Real time with Bill Maher. Really real. Bill's the real guy. But he's too much of an establishment shill. He's so unreal, he's such a corporate puppet, that he can't even acknowledge Joe Biden's mental decline. What an absolute farce. Bill Maher, the hardcore counterculture leftist guy on HBO. What a complete joke. These people are unbelievable. And speaking of that same narrative, here's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, another person who got elected on the image of being a political outsider, a young progressive, challenging the establishment status quo. Well, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez went from that, representing young voters who absolutely despise Joe Biden, they literally call him Genocide Joe, she went from that to being the biggest establishment shill you could possibly imagine.
Do you have any concerns about his age? Do you have any concerns about whether or not he should be the nominee?
I mean, I think right now, when it comes to the president's age, folks are talking about how he's 81, but we have to look at, first of all, Donald Trump is around the same age as
77,
president.
yeah.
He's 77 years old. They could have gone to high school together. And beyond that, Donald Trump has 91 indictments. And what I know who I'm going to choose. It's going to be one of the most successful presidents in modern American history that passed the Inflation Reduction Act, that got us the American Rescue Plan, that ensured that we could pass one of the largest federal investments in climate change in U.S. history. And as far as we go, as we know, virtually all the filing deadlines have passed. There's already been a primary. Voters have outright rejected Dean Phillips. President Biden is going to be the Democratic nominee, and hopefully he'll be reelected as president of the United States.
Yeah, I feel like that clip pretty much speaks for itself. Politics is not about truth seeking. It is not about truth speaking. It has become a deeply cynical game where telling the truth, well, it simply doesn't seem to matter. It's not exactly part of the equation. You know, Democrats would rather destroy their credibility and go on the record defending Joe Biden than do what's right for the nation. You know, maybe not having a dementia patient as the president of the United States. Maybe, just maybe. Maybe having an open and honest conversation about Joe Biden's deteriorating mental health. It's really just a weird place to be, where rather than saying what you believe is true, you say whatever is politically expedient for your political party. So obviously the consequences are too severe. And Jon Stewart's finding that one out this week. I'm sure you guys are aware Jon Stewart's taking a couple days over a week, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, at The Daily Show. And well, he opened his first segment by, let's just say, acknowledging the elephant in the room.
If you're telling us behind the scenes he is sharp and full of energy and on top of it and really in control and leading, you should film that. That would be good to show to people instead of a TikTok where he goes, chocolate chip cookie. We see he's in charge. You see, I like cookies.
and boy, it didn't go so well, let's just say that. The Rolling Stone writes, is Jon Stewart still the right person to host The Daily Show? The comedy vet makes his return to the desk he left in 2015 this evening, but his both sides are equally bad approach may not translate to 2024. Yes, because apparently being intellectually honest and, seeing the world through a non-partisan lens, through a non-party politics lens, apparently that's so not 2014, writes the Rolling Stone. Leftoids are freaking out on Twitter because Jon Stewart acknowledged the basic reality that Joe Biden's brain doesn't work. And so now they're calling to cancel him. No wonder Bill Maher is so scared to admit the obvious truth about Joe Biden. And it's funny because we know where he actually stands. He'll never say that Joe Biden has dementia, but he'll certainly call for Gavin Newsom to replace him come 2024. Joe Biden's so successful, oh my god, the legislative track record. But let's not run him again. A successful incumbent president. No, let's do untried, untested, at least in a general election sense, Gavin Newsom. Yeah, sure, no concern over Joe Biden's health whatsoever there, right? Make it make sense. None of it makes sense. Because everyone's got an angle. The leftist angle is the right is evil. No matter what, they must be stopped even if that means defending a frickin' vegetable. They just seem so ridiculous now, don't they? Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.